Hey, Jim, it's Stacy Lee. I'm telling you, I just watched this guy in Weird Science last weekend. Let's welcome him to the show, Michael Berryman. How are you, sir?
Hey, good morning, Jim and Stacy. Is that right?
Yes, it is.
So you're just
I'm doing great. I had my coffee a couple hours ago. I was up at 2 o'clock cooking just for fun.
Oh, is that what you just get up at 2 in the morning to start cooking things?
I got bored.
Yeah, okay. So you have been in a ton of horror movies, and of course you've got a really unique backstory from the start all the way until now.
Yes.
So anyone that...
Oh, okay.
yeah, so take it away, because we've, Stacy and I have been, see if I can... Hydrochronic ectodermal dysplasia. Is that correct?
That's close enough.
Okay, good.
I was going to say, it doesn't
I
sound...
win the bet! Yeah! So now you basically give us your rare condition, because anyone that has seen you in film, they're going to look at you and go, wow, look at this guy. He belongs in horror movies.
Right.
Well, actually, what happened was my father was a brain surgeon, and he went on a secret mission to Nagasaki and Hiroshima after they dropped the bombs. He was a Navy surgeon, and the Marine Corps took him to Ground Zero, and he did what he did his mission and did some research. And when he came home, my parents decided to have another child. Well, my father was basically glowing in the dark, and back then nobody knew too much about what nuclear radiation would do. So
right.
My dad came back, and he was highly radiated, and I was born a month early in 1948, premature. My skull was fused. It had no soft spot. The ends of my hands and toes were not fully developed. I can't perspire. My teeth were no good. Had dentures at the age of 6. And right around the same time, well, maybe dentures were 8, but at age 6, I had to go to Children's Hospital, and they gave me a craniectomy. What that means is I had my first and only haircut on a Saturday morning, and I was pretty mad about that. Then I remember waking up. They kind of immobilized you, and what they did was they basically cut big fissures, like about 6 inches, about 5 of them, all the way around my skull. And if you cracked an egg and you kind of, spread it apart, and then put pieces of bone in there from my hip so it wouldn't grow back together, and you do that so you don't go blind or die from too much pressure on the brain, and
right.
The brain continues to grow, and hopefully the skull would continue to grow. I was very, very fortunate that I had really great surgeons, and my dad actually watched. He used to tell me if I had a report card that wasn't to his satisfaction, he'd say, Michael, you can get better grades. You have a good brain. I've seen it.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
Yeah. What an amazing story. Holy smokes.
Well, there was no snappy comeback to that from my father. So, it was tough having a visual difference in the 1950s. I got into a lot of fights as a kid. Not necessarily fisticuff, but I had a temper that was. My fuse was like non-existent.
Right.
But I would be more upset if my friend who had polio and walked weird and had braces, if somebody would trip him down a stairs, I would go ballistic.
Right.
But I would go to the parents. I would walk right up to the parents or the teachers, and I said, you're not controlling the children. You're not teaching them valuable lessons. So I think I'm going to hit you.
Yeah.
Because I'm a kid, and you can't hit me back.
Right.
But see, in those days, it was Ozzie and Harriet, black and white TV. We were kind of, entertainment industry was kind of fledgling, and, kids obey. We fought the good fight, the war's over, but, splitting the atom wasn't a really good idea, in my opinion. Well, I went to lots of doctors over the years, had lots of, procedures, I'll just put it lightly, and it was kind of rough. But when I left college, I didn't know what I was going to do. I had to put myself through college, and I loved cooking, and I was an assistant chef up to one point in time. But after a while, not being able to dissipate body heat or perspire, I had to leave that field.
Right.
And doing other things, my skin would crack open, and I'd have issues. I go, wow. So I learned through good nutrition and eating right and a healthy lifestyle, your body can it's quite resilient. And I've learned a lot of things over the years, and I'm 66, and I'm in great shape, and I'm in very, very good health. I think, as my friend Lou Ferrigno would tell you, it's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Meaning, we grew up with Jack LaLanne. I mean, people that really know how to properly feed the body, and that the body can do quite well if you learn. Fast food will pretty much kill you, in my opinion. So that put me up into after college. I didn't have enough to get my degree, wasn't sure what I wanted to do, and I went to Venice Beach, California, right near Santa Monica, where I grew up.
Right.
Surfing town. And opened up a little tiny store. We sold house plants. If you were an artist, we'd put your art up in there. Just a little kind of a hippy-dippy kind of thing. And it was kind of nice. And we were in business for about 6 months, and then we finally closed the shop. Well, by the time we were closing shop, a very nice gentleman walked into my store, and he said, "Hi, would you be in my movie?" And I go, "What?" "Who are you?" And he hands me a business card, and it said, "George Powell, Warner Brothers Studios."
Right.
I have a degree in art history, so I'm going, and I had friends that were actors. And I go, "Why do you want me in your movie? I'm not an actor. I think I want to go homestead in Alaska and, live in the woods." And he goes, "Well, before you do that, would you be in my movie, please?" And I go, "Do you know who you are? You produced War of the Worlds, The Journey to the Center of the Earth, and The Time Machine. You're George Powell." He pats me on the shoulder, and he goes, "Just say you'll be in my movie." Okay. Well, George gave me a 2-day part for Doc Savage, The Man of Bronze, a good little action, based on an action story, novels. And I had my Screen Actors Guild card. And I got paid, $500. Had my union card. And I go, "Well, what am I going to do now?"
Yeah.
Ironically, George had a casting director that was casting another project called One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Uh-huh.
When I went to meet Michael Douglas and everybody, I said, "Who's playing McMurphy?" And they said, "Nicholson." I go, "Wow, perfect." And then we talked about the script, and I said, "So you want me because I had a craniectomy and I could be a lobotomy patient?" They go, "Yeah, that's pretty much it."
Yeah.
I go, "Well, I can pull that off. Let's do it." And I worked 127 days. And I learned 6 days a week. I was there every day, even on my days off, so I could ask people questions. And boy, did I ask questions.
I bet.
Anybody that did anything and everything, I said, "Why are you doing that? What's that?" Like a little kid. And I was a sponge. Over the 40 years I've been doing this, I see seasoned actors that don't know what a mark is. They don't know what a focus point is. They don't know how to project their voice when the sound man is turning up the gain because one person's talking loud and and the other one is talking.
Yeah.
And I go, wow, they don't know their craft. It's more than hitting your mark and saying your lines and being pretty or handsome. So it's been a wonderful journey, and I've met incredibly fantastic people. And I'm going to do this, and I'll do it till I'm 100.
That's awesome. Well, you've been in
Someday I'll be old.
Yeah, you've done just a ton of movies. You've now, do you got anything new on the horizon?
Yes. Well, most recently on the horizon was a thriller. I still like to push it. It's with Eddie Furlong. Came out about 4 or 5 years ago. It's called Below Zero. And then there was The Devil's Rejects. And I've got some other projects that are going to be happening pretty soon. I'm really excited about a TV series on Sci-Fi Channel called Z Nation. If you haven't watched it, check it out.
Okay.
It's looking really good. They just got picked up for season 2, I understand. And rumor has it that I want to have a guest spot on it. And if they don't kill me off, I'll be a regular. But I'm really liking Z Nation. And let's see. Other projects, Army of the Dam, we did that, Chad Verdi movie that we did with Joey Fatone from NSYNC.
Wow. So it's good stuff.
Do you remember NSYNC?
Yeah, I try not to. No.
One morning at 3 o'clock, I was watching TV, and there was an infomercial for some hair Bosley. Yeah. Hi, I'm Joey Fatone. You might remember me from an all-boy band called NSYNC. Mm-hmm. So later in the day, I called up Joey Fatone, and he goes, "Oh, Michael, how you doing?" And I go, "Hi, I'm Joey Fatone." I did the whole commercial. He was laughing his butt off, and I go, I said, "You sold out, Joey. You sold out."
Yeah.
He goes, I know, they gave me a bucket of money. I said, well, I don't care about that, Joey. I want to know, does it work? Because I'm bald, know. And we had a good laugh, and it's fun to keep in touch with friends, and especially if you can harass them at their expense. It's even more fun.
It's awesome. Well, Michael, thank you so much for taking some time with us this morning, man. We appreciate it. I'll be looking for you in just about every horror movie that's pretty much made. You're almost in all of them, so it's good stuff.
Well, the good ones. And also be looking for next year, I'm getting ready to line up lots and lots of conventions. So if you've never been to a convention, come on out, be one with the family, get the hotel room, misbehave if you want to, just have a good time. And just be sure, if your kids are out trick-or-treating this year, walk with them. Sometimes they don't, they get excited, they run across the street, you don't want them getting hit. And just take care of one another, all right?
Sounds good, man. Well, you take care and have a good Halloween, all right?
I think I shall.
All right. Take care, man.
Hey, go Seahawks.
That's right. That's right. All right, Michael. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.
All right, be good.
All right.
Bye.
There you go, Michael Berryman. We will get this posted online, and you'll see his picture and go, oh, that guy.
Yeah, you guys, if you remember Weird Science, the movie Weird Science.
Yeah.
He was one of the biker guys that came right in there. He's got a very unique look, but man, what a story! So his dad goes to the ground zero, and ends up what happens to the guy. Phenomenal actor too.